Okay, I'm going to walk through how I would help a student debug this 2D array problem. So first things first, they got to run Replit. And here's what they get. And so if they came to me and said, hey, I think there's a problem, the first thing I would ask them to do in this case is let's look and see if we can get any information from the error codes. So I'd say, okay, tell me what you see. And they'd say, okay, we've got silly example 1, 1 is 20, silly example 1, 2 is 30. And I might pause them there and say, is that what you expected? So then they could go over to the array, the 2D array, and 1, 1, I might even cover up the screen and ask them, what did you expect here? You know, what part of the array would you see this in? And they might say, okay, will be the 1, that's the first row, and 1, that'd be the first column. And then I might actually stop them here and say, well, is there anything special that computer programmers do when it comes to counting? And they would say, oh, right, they start at 0. So, 1, 1, we're actually starting at 0 with our first row. That's the 0th row. Here's the first row, so that's 1. And then to get to the first column, we go 0, 1. Oh, okay, so that explains why we're showing 20. And then when we go to the spot of 1, 2, that's looking at the first row, so 0th row, first row, and then second column, so that's 0th column, first column, second column. Okay, so that makes sense why 30 is being shown. Okay, so let's keep going, and I'd ask them, okay, what do you see next with your error code? And if they scan it, they'll see, okay, index 3, out of bounds for length 3. Index out of bounds. Oh, okay, so that means we counted too far. So it sounds like there are a couple things we're going to have to fix here. So let's start by seeing if we can get this 2D array to print out each value in the array. Now it doesn't actually say in the directions that that's what we're expecting, but this kind of makes sense based on the print, what's written out here in the print statement. Here is silly example. Okay, I, J, and then it tells the values for what's in I and J. And so the way we would do that is we need to look here at where we're starting. Now, if computer scientists started counting at 1, and of course some languages do that, so that's a whole other thing, this would make sense, but because computer scientists start counting at 0, we need to have our program also start counting at 0. So let's change this to 0. And let's actually pause here and see what that looks like now. So we've updated our outer loop to start counting at 0. We've not updated our inner loop yet. Okay, so 0. Okay, so this is different. Before it said 1, 1, and 1, 2. Now it's saying 0, 1. So the 0th row, okay, that's this row. And the first column, 0, 1, that's going to give us the value of 80. Yep, that makes sense. And then the 0th row and the second column, 0, 1, 2, that would be a value of 70. So if I had a student who was still having trouble with the starting at counting at 0 and starting at counting at 1, I might really slow this down like this for them so that they could get some extra practice. So now that we've changed our outer loop, let's change our inner loop. So this is going to be the columns. So instead of starting at 1, we start at 0. And, oh, okay, so now we get a third row. So we've got 0, 0, that's this value. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, 0th row, first column. 0th row, first column is 80. Yep, that makes sense. Then the 0th row, second column, 0, 1, 2, should be 70. Excellent. Now, what's happening that we're not getting this second row filled out? Let's see, so we've got our outer loop. We start at 0. I wonder if this could be it. I know that we've had problems in the past where uh, the program counts too far because it's not dot length minus one. I wonder if we could do some sort of trial and error here and see if that would fix it. Let's see what happens if we change the outer loop to do silly example dot length minus one. Okay, still getting that same error. The other thing I've noticed in the past is sometimes we do I less than or equal to, or sometimes we do I just less than, and that'll do one less iteration because it won't go all the way up to the length minus one. Still getting it. I wonder if we also need to do that same thing down here. So let's make it example.length minus 1, and instead of doing j is less than or equal to, let's just do j is less than. And so now we're getting, here is silly example 0, 0, 90, and 0, 1, that's 80. What's happening now? Maybe I went too far. What if I take out the length minus 1? Maybe that'll make it run longer. Here we go. So now we've got, okay, 0, 0 is 90, 0, 1 is 80, 70, 1. Okay, and it looks like this is working now. So this was kind of a roundabout way to play with the for loops, but I'd want to show my student that, you know, if you're really stuck, sometimes you just need to try out things that have worked in the past and, you know, see if you can fix it that way. So sometimes it's really simple where, okay, you're just missing a semicolon, and other times you may not really know what the problem is, but you need to experiment until you can figure it out. So thanks for watching.